This episode of Sportish is sponsored by the Active Industry First Start Traineeship program, funded by the Queensland Government. Hello and welcome to Sportish, where we look at life through the lens of sport. My name is Georgie Trickett.
And I am Libby Trickett.
And Libby, I'm starting the show today because I feel that once I hand the microphone
you won't be getting it back,
to
Georgie.
you, I mean, you've already cut over me. This is where we're at. And that is because we got to watch and take in,
observe
the spectacle or lack thereof that was the enhanced games. And we've literally run down to the studio today to record. We were so busting to talk about it. And we actually haven't had a conversation about it because we needed to have it here.
Yeah, we needed to do it for all of you. I would love to know your initial thoughts because I know you've got some like actual quotes and some really interesting tidbits that you will be able to give to the audience. But what, in your opinion, what did you think?
If I'm being very cynical, this is an absolute marketing and PR campaign for the sale of drugs and other sort of pharmaceuticals to the regular man and woman through a sporting vehicle. So the enhanced games were created to allow athletes the opportunity to compete using banned substances and banned equipment. And I think that's often an overlooked part of the enhanced games. It appeared to only showcase 3 events: running, weightlifting, and swimming. And women didn't feature across all categories. And I think that's an interesting data point.
Surprise, surprise. So random.
As immediately as the racing began and I started seeing clips of it, my thoughts were, this is a very small space. There are not a lot of people here.
So weird, wasn't it?
So weird. And interestingly, because I didn't know how I would feel when I watched it, I did wonder if I would watch it and think, oh, wow, this is really compelling watching. And in fact, I watched it and thought, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
There's nothing grabbing me. And I couldn't understand why that was the case, but I wasn't particularly interested in it, I have to admit.
Because it wasn't sport.
Because it wasn't sport.
Yeah. There was nothing on the line except for a bit of prize money, but we don't know who these people are. We're not really interested in them. It was really fascinating because I thought, I had maintained that like I was completely against the concept, thought it was terrible, but absolutely would watch.
Yes.
Absolutely would watch to see what would go down. And I think probably a lot of people were in that kind of camp. I was struck because I thought being Las Vegas that they would just get thousands of people, and being America, you know, they have thousands of people turn up to a college football game. Like I would have thought that there would be heaps of people wanting to watch this kind of circus arrive in town, but there was almost no one.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
It was dead.
It was completely dead. And turns out it was invite only. And I wonder why that is, why it was only invite only. I guess so they could control the environment a little bit more. But it was just like there are no words to describe what an inordinate flop it was. Like it couldn't have gone worse if they actually tried.
From my perspective, it couldn't have gone better.
For all of us. I mean, not them, but for all of us. We have to mention James Magnuson.
Let's go deep on that.
So this is a man who was the favourite to win the Olympic Games in 2012. Like outright favourite, you know, had brilliant ad campaigns going, I'm going to win basically the 100 metres freestyle before it happened. He ended up getting silver by 0.01 of a second, like an exceptional swimmer, who then decides to sign up and be the first enhanced athlete. Just plastered across his social media, I am the first to sign up for this enhanced games. I'm going to juice to the gills and break the world record within 6 months. Those were his words. Who ended up coming last in a field of 4. And like swam significantly slower than his personal best times. Significantly slower. Apparently juiced to the gills and wearing a neoprene swimsuit. Being very cynical and seeing some of the commentary that he's put out post the race, he's like, it wasn't just about the actual racing. There's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah.
off the back of that, which just makes my blood boil on so many levels. I mean, it failed before it even started, right? So they wanted it to be the drug-filled Olympics, so fielding loads of sports. They immediately got whittled down to 3.
Yes.
As you said, not all women were represented across all sports. There was a significantly less participation rate by women, obviously, because you're injecting your body and we have no idea what the effects will be of that long term. And then, like, you see the performances and there was one unofficial world record, which I would say, considering that guy was a pretty good swimmer, like pretty decent, made finals at the Olympics, like a very good swimmer. He juiced to the gills, again, had his little protocol, wore a neoprene suit, and he beat the world record set by Cameron McAvoy in March this year, obviously unsuited and undosed, by 0.07 of a second.
Yeah, I don't see that as a real win for the games, the enhanced games.
Correct. Like, that is an abject failure, in my opinion, especially with the way that they were talking it up. And the fact that he was the only one to go under, it's also a massive just disappointment for them. Like, just complete failure on all levels. And for me, because obviously this has activated my real bitch athlete mindset, where I'm like hyper competitive. Like, these are B-grade athletes. I'm
such a sledge.
No, but
I love it.
Genuinely, these are B-grade athletes who are still not as good as the athletes who dedicate their life and their time, their talent, their intensity to performing at the highest level on a level playing field.
And I think we've got to call out the unenhanced athletes who came into the event.
The good athletes.
The goodies in this tale of sport who still beat the totally juiced up athletes.
The 3 non-enhanced athletes all won their event.
Yeah.
I have to put a caveat. Fred Curley, 100-meter runner, has been suspended because of doping violations, not necessarily due to doping, but because of whereabouts issues. He still won.
Hunter Armstrong.
And the woman who won 100.
Tristan Evelyn.
Yes. All natural athletes, all won. And it's just...
Never has a victory been sweeter.
It's so desperately sweet. And I think there's really interesting commentary around that tech bro mindset of optimization.
Yeah.
And I think there's a broader conversation that we need to have. Like, we are optimizing too much. We need to be a natural athlete who has rest, who has, recovery mentally as well as physically. Like, it's
but
not
also that has talent.
Exactly right. And it's not just B-grade athletes, it's B-grade coaches. I think the thing that makes me so angry is there was so much money on the line.
So that's a really interesting point because Hunter Armstrong, who was tested 11 times, so he put himself up and said, yep, drug test me, I'm a clean athlete, but actually runs the risk of now not being able to compete in LA 28. He said he's gone into this event as an unenhanced athlete because he needs to make money.
Correct.
His sponsor pulled out post-Paris and by going into this event, he was able to make $250,000. I kind of get it if you're an unenhanced athlete, if you want to compete, and it kind of makes it more interesting for us, the viewers, to see the
comparison.
The comparison, and it was a high-risk strategy for the enhanced games to allow them in.
Yeah. It hasn't paid off for them.
It hasn't paid off for them at all. But yeah, the money that was involved in this, the venue alone was a $70 million venue.
What makes me crazy, like, there are these billionaires who have backed this stupid concept, like just the dumbest concept in the history of concepts. Like, come on, guys. Seemingly you're all really smart, like you're all very successful business people, but like, let's go and invest in athletes. Like, unenhanced athletes, people like Cam McAvoy, who have completely revolutionized training for the 50 meters freestyle and is showing that even in his 30s, he is so far ahead of everyone. Like, that's what made me angry. Like James had a go at Cam because Cam had a playful sledge.
Yes, which he didn't. I mean, he didn't tag James at all.
Of course not.
But
he doesn't need to because he's better than him.
I mean, he is. He put up a story on Instagram that said, seriously, is that all you've got?
Yes.
And no one was tagged, no comment of enhanced games.
Not specifically about James.
He didn't need to. And James Magnuson, interestingly, and I saw some commentary from people saying if James Magnuson wants to turn this around from a PR perspective, he could come out tomorrow and say, you know, he wanted to see what it could do, but he doesn't think it's the right thing to do. Whereas in fact, James Magnuson has come out and
doubled down.
Just he's in on this.
Yeah.
And he's making a lot of money from it.
Yeah. And I think that's what cynically, again, and I think something that we really need to be aware of, especially for our young men and our young boys who would have watched a lot of this. Thankfully, it wasn't televised anywhere. It was only streamed online, and apparently the broadcast was awful.
And the feed was lost for 11 minutes of it all.
Unbelievable. But the thing that concerns me the most is that clearly from a performance perspective, abject failure. Like it couldn't have gone worse for them. But from a sales and peptides and nutritional supplements and all of that, I worry with the environment that we are all marinating in, especially our young boys now with looks maxing, to see all those men on an amount of protocol and see what they look like, that is going to be a new beauty standard for men. And they're going to go through what women have been going through for decades. That's what really worries me about the kind of washout of all of this stupid event.
If you had been offered the opportunity, I mean, pre-heart attack and pre-5 children, if you'd been offered the opportunity to swim as an unenhanced athlete in an enhanced games, would you have said yes?
That's a great question. I like that you specified unenhanced because obviously I just...
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
but
never would have done that.
This is actually something that a lot of Australian athletes will be grappling with at the moment, given we know that so many of them live below the poverty line, that there's no money unless you're like a one in, a million athlete. Yeah. There's no funding for you.
So I will be very honest and say that if I could guarantee that I could come back and swim at the Olympics, like if that was a guarantee, like live golf versus the Opens, right? Yeah. Traditional golf, like those live athletes can now go and play in the Opens now. So if I could guarantee that, absolutely, and I'd go and smash the shit out of them.
And that's a really interesting thing to think about. I also really like...
Because they're better athletes. If you have the potential, sorry, Georgie, if you have the potential to win an Olympic medal, you're not going to the enhanced games. Yeah. You're not.
But are you if it's how you make money?
Only if I could come back and win the Olympics as well.
I bloody love how much this has triggered your competitive edge. I want to...
Honestly, my bulldog has been activated.
Oh, I can feel it. Cam McAvoy yesterday made an announcement that people would be allowed to follow his program.
I just love everything he's doing.
So we have this massive contrast with the enhanced games, which is all about money and showmanship.
Tech bros and optimization.
All that sort of stuff. And then you have good old Cam McAvoy sitting at home at his desk saying, I want you to be part of my journey to LA 28. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I want you to see the training. My husband then my husband's working. He then immediately clicks on it and is like, oh my God, look at what Cam's doing. When I was training, I used to have to swim 70 kilometres a week. He's only swimming, 1 kilometre.
Yeah. Well, that's why I continue to hold the hope that I could compete at the 2032 games as a 47-year-old mother of 5 with a heart attack.
It's a no. I'm ruling it out.
Cam's training with 1 kilometre. I do 3K on our Friday morning Sporties swim club sessions. Surely I'm up to par.
I sort of went deep because I was trying to dig into why I felt hollow watching this thing. Like I knew objectively why I felt hollow, but why was it that it wasn't hitting the mark? And I found this really interesting comment from the Sports Ethics Examiner. Now, they're a collection of sports PhDs, ethicists from
very smart people,
a collection of continents and countries. They put out a really interesting collection of thoughts on this, and they said sport works because audiences believe athletes competed inside conditions that that were collectively understood and respected. Sport's power depends on uncertainty and the belief that what unfolds is not engineered in advance.
Yes.
This is not sport.
It's not sport.
What we saw yesterday was not sport. It was a goddamn advertising campaign.
But that's what leaves us so, it's soulless. There is no soul there. And you can see it from the people who are watching, all of the tech bros, everyone just patting each other on the back. And it was such bravado and it's honestly such bullshit that's not what people need right now.
Also,
or want.
When you're watching sport, you need to be able to get behind a story.
Yes. We talk about that all the time, right? The humanness. What's the humans? There's no
Where's
humans.
the humanity in what we're doing here?
It's all protocols and optimization. That's not what the world needs right now.
In the bin.
Straight to the bin for them.
Hey, Libby.
Hey, Georgina.
Have you heard about the Active Industries First Start Traineeship program?
Is that the one where you get $20,000 wage subsidy for not-for-profit clubs and organisations?
Totally. I thought this was just wild and I didn't know that this existed, and I can already think of so many clubs that could benefit from this. This is a bit of money that you can use to bring someone on who's not just a volunteer, they're actually an employee of your club to help you get all the things done that you need to get done.
And are they the people who kind of haven't been in work for a while, so it helps them return to work as well?
It can be, or it can just be you converting a volunteer into somebody who can do all the doing.
Because that's the thing, in all of these sorts of organisations, it relies so much on volunteers and people are so busy. And they need to be able to put together these things that help organisations take it to another level.
We want people in clubs to be able to rely on somebody to print out the spreadsheets, to organise the websites so that the people who are volunteering can get out on the court or on the field and do what they do best.
Basically, people can take advantage and all they need to do is submit an application and AQIA can actually help you with that. So head to the website or click the link in the show notes. Take advantage of this incredible opportunity.
Elizabeth, it's been a while since we've had a sideline sport check-in. We're coming into winter sports. We've hit the athletics season. Swimming's been put to the side for now. And we've come into athletics, we've come into cross country. We're about to hit all the winter team sports. Tell me your vibes. What have you felt?
Yes, it's been really interesting because my kids are getting into sports that I wasn't necessarily huge fans of. They do swimming in summer and they really love their gymnastics as well, which is really sweet to watch. And that's something that I did for a very brief period of time in my childhood. But I think you kind of naturally are inclined to send your kids into sports that you probably did as a kid.
Yeah.
And at least to start with.
Yeah, it's what you know. It's what you're comfortable with.
Correct. Your kind of safe space, your comfort zone, as they say. But one of my daughters, my second daughter, Eddie, she has really developed a love for running, which is bonkers for a swimmer.
Yeah.
So far outside of my comfort zone. But she loves it. She has been running since she came out of the womb, I think. She immediately started moving.
I mean, parents of runners know this because you're those people who are constantly running out the school gate, chasing children as they head towards roads.
It's so true.
You're the parents who only wear sneakers because you must be able to run at all times.
I know. That's actually really, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, I know this because I am one.
You are one as well, yes. You feel it deeply in your soul.
Yes, the number of times I've scooped up my child before they run out onto a road or just lost them generally in a school grounds.
In a school grounds. So Eddie's gotten right into cross country. She got selected onto her school team to compete at the inter-school competition, which was really cool. It's awesome to see it. She is a sporty kid. She bloody loves it, wants to do everything and anything. Just let her have a crack. And it just kind of made me reflect because I know we talk a lot about sideline parenting behaviour.
We do.
for the negative for the most part.
In the negative.
Not good sideline behaviour often by parents. You know, we talk a lot about how we need to not live vicariously through our kids. We need to, respect that they may not want you to cheer really loudly. They might respond well to that, but, to check in and make sure that they're okay with all of that sort of behaviour. Certainly no coaching from the sideline, certainly not running along beside them.
Yeah, that's batshit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. I also wanted to acknowledge that we as parents on the sideline feel all of the experiences that our children are potentially going to go through. So it was really funny because, this is the space that we work in. We talk a lot about these sort of situations.
So intellectually, Intellectually,
I know not to yell and not to run along beside her and not to, talk to her constantly about these things or give her feedback after she's run or done gymnastics or whatever it might be. All of that I know logically, but when you're in the moment and there's this opportunity for your little person to do a good job, whether that's to win the race, to do a personal best, to finish the race, you want them to feel good, right? So there's that sense of nerves and anticipation. And I've always been terrible at that experience. Like when my husband and I were swimming and I would watch him race, it was a nightmare for me because I couldn't control anything. Whereas if it's me racing, I could be racing at the Olympics. Like, give it to me. I want that. But watching Luke, my husband, race was just disgusting. Like the feelings that I felt was just nausea and nerves and you can't put it anywhere because you're not the one doing it. So for me, that brought back all of that experience and it reminded me that I think we need to talk about and acknowledge that you can feel all those feelings. You can feel nervous. You can feel excited. You can feel worried that they might not achieve what they wanted to achieve. Like that's all really normal human experiences. It's then what we do with that.
Yeah.
And how does that come out? And being aware of how that behavior manifests itself for you is really important. So I could feel myself getting like jittery and, how you going? How you feeling? Like trying to be like all upbeat and very clearly too much. And thankfully Eddie is like, she's pretty chill when it comes to those sorts of things. And I have to say also very intense, but she just kind of just gets in her zone and she locks in. It's really cool to watch actually, which actually forced me to go, oh, she's got this. Like,
yeah.
And remind myself that regardless of whether she wins, loses, does a PB, doesn't do a PB, that's a learning experience, especially if they are disappointed. Like that's an opportunity for them to learn about themselves. It's a chance for them to grow. Anyway, I think I just wanted to, put that out there because we do talk a lot about that kind of bad parental sideline behaviour. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to acknowledge it. It's acknowledging the feeling.
Yes.
And not pretending like
we're reparenting ourselves.
We're not pretending that we don't feel things at certain times. It's interesting for me because I will feel it in some sports but not others.
Oh.
So it depends on the context as to whether or not I feel that.
That is very accurate. I was the same. When Poppy was doing netball, I was like, eh.
Yeah, right. So in different sports, I would say don't notice it at all.
Do you know what the difference is with those sports?
I think for me, the trigger is how much it means to the child.
Yes, always, yeah.
So if I know my youngest, like we've discussed, he's a runner. He is absolutely into it. Loves it hard. And he gets nervous. I mean, he's only little, but he gets nervous before he goes and does the cross country.
Because he wants to do well.
Or the 200 metres.
Because he loves it.
Because he loves it. And then next thing I know is I'm watching going, oh, how's he going? And you have to catch yourself and go, well, it doesn't really matter because we're on the sports field at the primary 9. School. Like, what are we even doing? I don't act on them though. And I think therein lies the difference.
That's the
There's
difference.
an inside thought and an outside thought.
Yes.
And the inside thought just stays with me and I acknowledge that thought and go, that's interesting. Why do you feel that way?
Yeah.
The message I think to parents is don't feel bad if you're feeling that. That's normal.
Totally normal.
And try not to act on it.
Yeah. And if you do, as I said, I was like, hey, how you going? Like a excitable,
like a Jack Russell Terrier.
Exactly. I was just going to say like an excitable puppy dog.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, and thankfully she was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go over
out,
here.
Mom.
Yeah. And then I was
not
like,
the Olympics.
I know. And then I was like, that's right. That's what I'm doing. Because it reminded me of that time when I was swimming. And so it's not like the people who don't yell on the sidelines don't feel like that. It's just we don't then act on it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good point.
Thanks.
You can come back to my couch anytime for this therapy if you need it.
I know. That's like it's sideline parental
therapy.
Parenting therapy.
Sideline therapy. Here we go. I need to update you on where I'm at with documentaries. There's a few things I need to say. Maybe this is my therapy session for today.
Please.
I need to let you know that I am struggling to watch Drive to Survive this season.
Oh, interesting.
I have not finished it.
Tell me everything about that.
Well, because I'm watching The Real Thing.
Can I just a complaint? They need to put it out earlier.
Yeah.
Give us time to watch it.
It's like what they used to do with the Tour de France thing where they put it out just before
it's not we're watching
game.
3 weeks of cycling, guys.
Yeah.
Give us a month or two.
It just, the timing didn't work. I don't know. I think I've just reached a point now where it served its purpose. I've now understand the sport or a sport that I knew nothing about so much better. I now understand who the characters are.
Yes.
I now even understand enough about how the car works or the cars work to then watch it as it's happening and get the context of it all.
Yeah.
I don't need Will Buxton staring down the barrel of a camera telling me what's happening anymore. I mean, I did.
Yeah.
I absolutely did because I didn't get it at the start. But now I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. I understand, that Piastri didn't have a great time, but it was because it started with the wrong
George
tyres.
is upset that he did not finish.
George had a DNF and Toto gave him a hug and it was really awkward. It was like they'd never hugged each other before. I just cringed so hard watching that, but I can see that happening in real life. I don't then need box to box to come behind with a camera and then frame up just how awkward that interaction was.
Although I really hope that makes the cut next year.
It's so weird. So yeah, I think my thanks to Drive to Survive because
But you've grown beyond it.
I've grown beyond it.
You've grown your wings and now you're flying.
I am flying down an F1 track in a battery-operated car.
So you've obviously explored different documentaries then.
I have been.
Is that your segue?
That's my segue to say I have watched something else. I've
Amazing.
watched a different sport. So Friday night on the couch, flicking around on iView as one does on occasion, and came across a women's surfing documentary from 2021. Now
that's right up your alley.
2021 was deep pandemic time, so it's possible that lots of people know about this, but it's also possible that lots of people don't and things got missed. It's called Girls Can't Surf, and it's all about the rise and the formation of the women's sport, the Women's Surf League in the WSL, the World Surf League, or the World Surfing League, perhaps. So it starts one of those. This is why I have to start in the documentary. I don't know enough. So it starts back at the late 70s, early 80s, early 90s, and it takes you through all the characters that were surfing at the time. And I think it's really amazing, actually, that we had women pro surfers as early as that. I don't think I actually knew that.
No. So it would have just been a handful, no?
It was just a very small group. These girls were fierce. They were addicted to surfing. They loved it. This is all they ever wanted to do. And they got themselves on the tour. They got paid nothing.
Were they competing against themselves or the men?
They were competing against the other women.
Okay.
So it was their own league, were paid nothing. They would get to surf when the surf was so bad that they wouldn't run the men's comps.
Oh my God.
That's where we started.
Awful.
It was really bad. They were forced to wear togs, bathers, swimmers, whatever you want to call it, that were totally inappropriate for
Surfing.
being an athlete
Yeah.
and being out in the water, but that was part of the marketing of the women.
That's putrid,
They
isn't it?
constantly tried to cancel the women's events at certain beaches because it just didn't work, and they wanted to double the men's prize money. And it came to a head around 1989 when they protested and they got the media involved. And I think it spotlights how important the media was in making sure these women's stories were told. These were stories that were actually being reported on in sports media back in 1989.
Wow.
That's pretty uncommon, I would say, to have had so much prominence back then. And because of the work of the media and the women, they were able to turn the situation around and they did compete. But everything was always against them. They would stack the boards to make sure that the women couldn't make decisions. They would, like I said, put them on at times that didn't work for the girls that they were surfing on seaweed and rocks, just terrible conditions. And it got to the point where the women realised they had a bit of power and they eventually just sat and didn't compete in their session, just refused. And it was beautiful watching them understand that they did have that choice and that they did have enough power to say, no, we're not going to put up with that now. And I think it's a good reminder. It's something I will definitely get my kids to watch. It does touch on some interesting themes, you know, because of the pressure on the women of what to look like. There were absolutely eating disorders. There were really unhealthy relationships with alcohol that came through. But brilliantly, these women were so tough and so determined and did not stop. And you see when Lane Beachley comes into it all.
Because she was 90s, wasn't she?
Yeah, and the platform she had to build off these other women was just incredible. And the way she then helped move the sport forward was, I don't think I realised this about Lane, how pivotal she was to moving surfing forward and advocating for women surfing, to the point where I sort of, and I feel quite ashamed of this, had a perception of Lane that she was somewhat difficult. And I realised—
I think that's a really common view.
Yeah, and I realised I think some of that is shaped by how hard she fought for women to be able to compete and compete equally, to the point where in 2019 the women were given the same prize money as the men. So they moved it from a place of having never received financial reward to an equal footing. And I think that's quite groundbreaking when you think about the timelines and how quickly they got there. There's not a whole lot of sports that achieved that quite so quickly as surfing did.
Yeah, and I think that's a interesting kind of way to look at it all, like how incredible that these women had kind of been there the whole time. The whole time, but in, you know, abysmal circumstances with abysmal conditions and not a lot of respect, but they were always there.
Yeah.
And that platform allowed them to go and thrive in a way that now they're on equal footing to the men. And even, you know, with the big wave surfing that's coming in, women are able to access those competitions now. And I don't think that would have happened without this kind of runway for them all.
These were women who experienced, you know, discrimination based on their sex, discrimination based on their sexuality. And interestingly, they sort of helped hold up the surf attire industry at a point where the recession was really hitting in the 90s. And Roxy was born out of the girls wanting to have board shorts to surf in. And look at the huge brand that is now.
Massive.
And the income stream that creates for, I think it's Rip Curl that Roxy's a sub-brand of. They were the women that pushed for that, for girls to have their own surf brand clothing. That didn't exist before these guys came through.
If ever there is like a reason for brands or marketing or, you know, sales in sport, that's it. Like, not the enhanced games, not the tech bros selling supplements. It's this like real humans doing really cool things in nature and just wanting that equal footing. Like, that is what sport's about.
And it's a really good reminder that it's all happened at the professional level, but at the community level, the work is not done. We know, because we've spoken to Lucy Small before about the work she's done at the community level, where in, I think it was 2021, she competed at a community event and the prize that she was awarded was half that in value to the men. So the check that she got for an equal event on an equal wave on an equal day was half. So these are still struggles that exist in community level sport for surfing. There's still a culture of the women are less. And I watched this and I thought, my God, the women are so pivotal to this sport.
So cool. So what is that on?
It's on ABC iView. It's called Girls Can't Surf. Highly recommend. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Sportish. You can find us on all your podcast apps.
Wherever you get your pods.
YouTube, Spotify video. Hello. Thank you for watching us.
Oh, hello. Did you see you there?
It's so nice of you to join us.
If you're on the Instagram at Being Sportish, come follow along.
We'd love to have you.
Yep.
And we'll be back in your ears next week.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
You can fit us in?
I think we'll show up.
Okay.
Probably.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode of Sportish is sponsored by the Active Industry First Start Traineeship program funded by the Queensland Government.